Back in 1949 when it originated, a group of men came up with the Drainage Commission, which was back in 1949. 1948, they brought to the public a 2 mil property tax to fund the drainage, and the people supported it, and it was a 10-year renewal. It came back up for renewal in 58. They went up to a 5 mil tax. The people supported it, said that they needed the drainage. Supported the tax, renewed every 10 years. It's still at a 5 mil tax, coming up for renewal in 2008. In 1982, they had an act of 609 which got the Polish Jury Association to be the board of the drainage. And at that point, the Polish jury took over as drainage board personnel. And then in 1984 it was, Mr. Marvin Bro headed up the Polish jury as chairman, president of the board, brought to the people a half-cent sales tax to support major drainage. At the time, we were having some major flooding, and we needed some funding to do some major drainage, and the plan was to put 2 pumping stations, dredging and leveeing systems throughout the areas that was really hurt by flooding. This took place, went to the public, it was passed, and moved on. Come back in '88, the pump started. The pumps that you see sitting behind me, $13 million, was built and has been very successful ever since. A couple years later, they built the second pumping station, which is in the town of Sorrento, which now has been successful. A whole lot smaller version of what you see here, but does a great job. Within 4 or 5 hours, it will pump down Sorrento. So here we had a half 5 mil property tax, which now brings in $2.9 million a year with the tax assessment. The sales tax, which is the half-cent sales tax, brings in current to date is $5.3 million. So the funding is there, and we need to continue our major drainage upstream. Back in I think it was 92, when the parish decided to go home rule charter, they give the intergovernmental agreement to the parish president to take over the day-to-day operations of the drainage board.
Okay, throughout the parish we have 241 miles of named waterways. We have 152 miles of unnamed waterways, and numerous small drainage systems that benefit 2 landowners or more that we maintain. Starting up in the top end of the parish, we have Alligator Bayou, which is inside Jim Bayou also. This all goes out through Bayou Manchac. We're at the northern end of the parish at the Alligator Locks. This is where Spanish Lake drains into Bayou Manchac. This is the main control structure. All of Ridge Road and the area over there toward the bluff is affected by this area. This is a very important issue whenever the Amite River gets high and pushes back up in here to stop this structure from back flooding everybody. Also down the road here we have what they call the Little Locks. That drains Frog Bayou, another area that's around the Bluff Road. It is another important area to close off during the high waters of Amite River. Both of these structures are gravity released. There's no pumps on it at this time. We have Welch Gully, Cotton Bayou, Muddy Creek that all hit into Bayou Manchac. We're on Muddy Creek Road at the Muddy Creek Bayou. This lateral right here drains from Seven Oaks subdivision. It's actually the starting point, draining all the way through this whole northern part of the parish, all the way down to Bayou Manchac. Then this part of the drainage system here is the Henderson Bayou area. All this comes out and hits right below Port Vinson, which is in this area about right in here. On the Henderson Bayou project, there's a lot of work being done on it to help this whole area up here in the north. We're at the Abbey James Road right now at the box cover crossing. We have cleaned out from under the box covers, as you can see right here, and cleaned out toward the Chateau Galvez apartments. The ditch drains back this way toward Parker Road and to 42. but this is some of the projects that we have completed. One of the proposed areas is for the new lock system and the pump system on the Henderson Bayou will be right below Bayou Miette, the best I understand. But right now, they got a lock system right where it dumps into the A-meet. That's very inadequate to how it's working. We're at the failed Henderson Bayou lock that's going to be replaced at a different location. Henderson Bayou dumps into the A-meet River right here at Summerfield North. But it's this area here where they're proposing to put the new lock system and pumps. From there, we got Lake Velar and all that that drains on down. That kind of separates the water systems. Here we get into the Black Bayou system. This whole area is considered the Black Bayou. We have the New River, which is the Goudin and Smith Bayou, all come into the New River right there. Bayou Francois also bleeds into the same area right here. They all tie in down coming toward the pumping station, which is right here. This is the old New River, and this is considered the New River right here. This is the Black Bayou system. Black Bayou is Denham, Severio Canal. It has different names throughout there. That's what serves the pumping station, what drains to the pumping station.
As you can see, we have 5 pumps running right now. Each pump runs at about 500,000 gallons per minute. Fuel tanks on your far left back here, each hold 12,000 gallons of fuel. It's diesel fuel. As you can look to my left over here, we have Severio Canal on your right. We have Denham Canal on your left. That's the section of the pumps, which continue on down New River all the way to Petite Miette, which eventually hits Blind River into Lake Maurepas. Hi, this is a maintenance test that we do at least once a month. I have Mr. Billy White with us. We are one of the guys that stays on 7 on, 7 off. They got 2 guys that stay 24/7 around these pumps. And they do this maintenance test at least once a month, sometimes twice a month. As you can see, all 5 pumps are doing fine. All the equipment is in excellent shape. They're doing a great job here at the pumping station. Thank y'all, guys.
Sorrento is in this area right here, and you have Bayou Conway and the Panama Canal. Both of them skirt below Sorrento. The pumping station in Sorrento is pumped over into Conway, and that's how that area drains. We're at the Sorrento pumping station. We have 3 pumps here. Each pump is driven by a 245 horsepower motor. They will pump out about 40,000 gallons a minute each, equivalent to 120,000 total. It drains a good part of Sorrento and in the interior of it. We have a new work order system. It's called Cardiograph. It is a really up-to-date system that we use. First, a call comes in through the secretary, Heather. She takes the call and places it in the computer. Well, then she sends it to me, and I take it and I go and investigate and find out what I want to do with it. It could either be a riffraff problem, or a bridge problem that I need to send to another apartment. Sometimes it's actually road and bridge that I'm looking at that I send to them. But if it is in our system, I will then document whatever between me and the landowner that I actually went and looked at what needs to take place and what kind of equipment we're going to use. When I send the work order out, it'll either be sent to Ron and the staff that work with him, or it could be to Lynn Savoy and their department with the surveyors. They determine culvert sizes, they determine the elevation of our ditches, and that's in that situation. Also, we have a right-of-way agent that I may send to him, Brad Little, if I have an issue that I'm not sure of a right-of-way, or I just know we need to get another right-of-way, it's sent to him. The surveyors, they go in depth to figuring out exactly which way we want to try to drain things sometimes. It's a very flat parish. We have a lot of issues too. We don't really want to cause a problem on somebody else by actually expediting a drainage project from one point to the next without doing a full detailed analysis of who has flooded in the past. That is our number one issue, is homes that flood. Whenever they go out, what they'll do, they'll set a small hub and a stake. This does not mean this is where the ditch is going to be at. It's just a reference point of what we are doing. The little small hub that's placed in the ground is actually the elevation that we shoot off from. The taller stake is just telling me here it is. And it's also a footage number. Is it 100, 200, 300 on however long the ditch is, that's where that footage is at. And we shoot off the small hub and you add to that number and it'll give you the cut for the bottom of the ditch. It could be, the ditch could be 200 yards away as far as that goes, but that is the elevation that we go off on. The surveyors, they take their field notes and they figure out what the elevation is going to be, what the elevations are there. And then they come and put it on computer through AutoCAD system, and they give a design on what to cut the ditch out at for us, and we take it from there. I sent it to my supervisors that's under me, and that time they put it in line for as a date schedule then, and they work it by priorities, by the dates, priority 1, 2, 3, or 4, by the dates. And that's how we go with our system.
My position is I take the information that is gathered and put it into a report form in our cartograph system. And the way that works is it tells me what work order is up to work. And whenever that comes up, I go out and do the preliminary work of the work orders. I'll go out to the site of the duties that we need to do, and I'll make a dotty locate on it. That way if any utilities or anything we're going to come in contact with, we'll go ahead and get with those companies, and I'll meet with them and discuss what we need to do to actually go through with the project. And once that's all done, I get jobs lined up for about 2 weeks ahead of myself, where I got 4 supervisors working and we're doing the jobs. And we meet on a daily basis. We meet in the mornings and we schedule out the work with the work orders that are supposed to go out next. And from that point, they carry out all the hands-on work with the guys and the crews and the machinery. And from point A to point B, we do the job from start to finish. We do all the dress-up work, the digging, the grade, all of that. And we just have a wide fleet of machines, and we do a lot of different things for the public services.
The major drainage department has one 300 class Daewoo, long reach 60 foot. This machine right here is a new Daewoo 300 that we have purchased. It is the Parish's. We do have some film work of a machine that we had rented, but we no longer have it. This is our machine. Then we have 5 other 200 class tracos that we use along these major valves and different issues. We have 2 mid-size, and we have 4 Kubotas that we use in people's yards and one thing or another. We also have 5 dozers that we use throughout the parish. We have 7 dump trucks. And we have 1 articulating dump truck that we just purchased to do the Black Bayou project. And there's several small tractors that we use here and there. The major drainage grass cutting crews has about 8 tractors also that they do all the cutting just along the bayous. The new chipper machine we have is going to be used in all of our places that our big equipment has never been able to fit into. It is an amphibious machine. One subdivision in particular is Ascension Trace. They have a lot of area that we need to get in there and really work this over and get it corrected. We're in Ascension Trace subdivision now. That's down by Burnside. It's right at 3 miles of ditches that's in this particular subdivision that it's really hard to maintain this any other way, but with the amphibious machine we have purchased with the parish. This is just one of the subdivisions that we're going to use it as a maintenance situation throughout. We do have a right-of-way here of servitudes, but you can see that some people have encroached on it even still. This will be removed when we get ready to come in here and start shredding all this up. All the bayous that have overhanging debris and swampy areas that we've never been able to do any work in there, we'll be able to go in there and chip with the underbrush. We're going to leave all the big stuff, but all the underbrush will be chipped and removed out. That's the reason for getting it. This is the back end of the Chateau Galvez Apartments on what they call the Marty Burat ditch. It drains actually from Highway 42 past Parker Road, Abbey James, 44 on out past Joseph Vario Road till it finally hits into Henderson Bayou. This will be a shredding job that we will use that machine for. There's no room on either side to really access this big drainage ditch right here. We're at the Presses Primary right now along the Goudine and 621. The shredder machine we're getting, it's going to go along here and shred all this undergrowth that's on here. The big trees are going to stay, but everything that's hanging over will be shredded down. Another improvement we're going to try to do to help the drainage out above the Goudine is try to get a 3rd span put in this 621 bridge. It is proven that this has been causing a lot of the problem in the flooding, and we're definitely going to try to work on this. Special projects that we have going on as of today is on the Shake Snyder Road off of 73. This has been a very severe flooding area right there. We have installed some large box culverts under Shake Snyder Road. This is a 4x10 box installed in Shake Snyder Road. This is part of the Welch Gully lateral. We've also installed a 3x6 on the top end of Shake Snyder Road. And in conjunction with the state, we're going to put another crossing under Old Jefferson Road, also to complete this project of this lateral. We also have a Black Bayou project that right now we have dug up to Highway 44. We have a lot of dress work back in this direction that we need to complete before we get too far ahead. It takes several crews to do this. But our main goal is to the public be satisfied when we're through with the dress work. Okay, we're here on the Black Bayou project now. We're roughly about 300 feet from Highway 44. We're heading north toward Rhonda Place and this project. Also, right now we have a project on Bayou Francois. This is where 61 is at and where Bayou Francois splits right behind Francois Point, we are putting some stone on it right now as of today. Okay, right now we're at Bayou Francois, behind Francois Point. This is off from 61, Highway 61. We have 1,340 tons of this rock purchased to put along this major bayou. What we got is a black material at the bottom. It's called geotextile. We shaped the bank, put the material on there, then placed the rocks and pad it in. It's going to be roughly 145 tons per 100 foot placed on this bog. Another thing the Drainage Board is talking about is the Laurel Ridge levee. This is the Laurel Ridge levee right here. It's a lot of questions in which direction this is going to work and how they want it to work. But this is in study by some engineering firms, how they're going to do this. The Panama and Conaway, this is going to be contracted out for a company to come in and tread all the overhang and the trees that are still in the bayou from Katrina. This is a major project. Okay, we're on John LeBlanc Boulevard and Sorrento on the Conway Bridge. NRCS is going to contract on the website degrubbing of all the banks along Bayou Conway, Panama, and Frog Bayou in Ascension Parish. The dress work is very, very important. Since I've been dealing with the parish 14 years in supervision, that's the #1 problem that people ask me or come up that faces me. And I highly believe in dressing up people's places when I'm through. And a lot of this is a time factor. The condition of the dirt has to get it the right texture for us to complete the job. Here on the Black Bayou project, our main concern was to get the dirt off the edges of the bank onto the properties. We used our articulating dump truck, dozers, to push this dirt out here and level it off. As you can see, we have built up the property this direction, and Bayou the Bayou is lower. And right now we're at 621 and Black Bayou Canal. If it's along the bayou bank or a big ditch, we like to seed and hay them. We have a blower machine that does this, and we put either ryegrass or Bermuda grass or bahia, depending on the time of the year, which grass we actually plant at that time. But that's a very important issue for the drainage department, to dress yards up.
Final dress part. After we cleaned Black Bayou Canal, we hauled off all the spoil and spread it and dressed that up, and now we're out here blowing hay to cover up seeds that we planted on the slopes, and this is being done to prevent erosion. The machine that we have spreads out square bales of hay over the seeds that we plant and helps to germinate the seeds and get a good root system started on to prevent the erosion. This is something that the Corps of Engineers requires us to do, and something that we feel is very important in the final dressing process.
And that's where we're at today, and we're still continuing our drainage plan from way back, because drainage is a never ending in Ascension Parish. We live in a flat ground area, and it's constant issues, and we're fighting it every day. And with the funding that we have, we plan to finish our plan and complete the project.